Hello and welcome back to Wrongmar. In today's maths lesson, we're going to be solving some problems to do with fractions. Our WALT is to do exactly that. It's to solve some word problems that involve fractions. Now, you have learned a huge amount about fractions over the last week and a half. Today, we're going to be trying to solve some problems using all those bits and pieces that we learned. So remember, we learned about equivalent fractions, about comparing and ordering fractions, and about finding fractions of different amounts. Are you ready? Okay, let's jump straight into the first question. Sam eats 1/2 of a pizza. Jane eats 3/4 of a pizza. If the pizzas are the same size, who ate more pizza? So the first thing that we need to do with any of these word problems is figure out what are they asking us to do. We know how to compare fractions, how to order fractions, how to find fractions of sets, and how to find equivalent fractions. We did all them during the week. We just need to figure out which type of question this one is. So let's have a look at it again. Sam eats 1/2 of a pizza. Jane eats 3/4 of pizza. Who ate more? So they're asking us to compare two fractions to see which one is larger, 1/2 or 3/4. Can you use the fraction wall here to help you find the answer to this word problem? Remember, we're trying to find which one of these two fractions is bigger. That will tell us who ate more pizza. Pause the video and give it a try. Well, if we take a look at those two fractions on the fraction wall, 1/2 and 3/4, we can see that 3/4 is bigger. So Jane ate more pizza. That's our answer, Jane. Let's try another one with a different type of problem. Here we have some people running in a race. So in a race, James ran 5/6 of the way, Anthony ran 4/9 of the way, and Lewis ran 1/2 of the way. Put these in order from who ran the smallest to the biggest distance. So again, we need to try figure out what kind of question is this? Is it a comparing, an ordering, a finding, or is it an equivalent fraction question? Pause the video and see if you can figure out which one of these 4 types of question it is. Well, did you get it correct? This is, of course, an ordering fractions question. The clue is in the question. It says, put them in order. Here's a fraction wall that will help you solve this question. Use the fraction wall to help you find the answer to the problem above. Pause the video and write down your answer. Well, how did you get on? When we colour in those fractions and take a look at them on the fraction wall, we can see that 4/9 is the smallest value, then 1/2, and finally 5/6 is the biggest. So the order is Anthony, Lewis, and then James. Did you get that one correct? Here comes the next question. At lunchtime, Christina ate 1/2 of her sandwich. Holly ate 4/8 of her sandwich, and Sara ate 3/4 of her sandwich. Which two people ate the same amount? Okay, so again, what kind of question is this? Is it a comparing, an ordering, a finding fractions, or is it an equivalent? Pause the video and see if you can figure out which type of question it is. Well, this is an equivalent fraction question. Remember those ones where we see which fractions are equal to each other. Use the fraction wall down below to help you solve the word problem. Remember, you're looking for the two people who ate the same amount. So you're looking for which two fractions are equivalent. Pause the video and give it a try. Well, when we put these all onto the fraction wall, we can see that 1/2 and 4/8 are the same size. So Christina and Holly ate the same amount. Okay, now let's go on to the next question type. In my opinion, this is the hardest of all fraction questions that you'll come across in 4th class, but I'll leave it up to you to decide. So our question is, the lunchman delivers 20 bottles of water in the morning. By the end of the day, 1/5 of them have been taken. How many were taken? So, is this a comparing question, an ordering question, a find a fraction of a set question, or an equivalent fraction question? Pause the video and see which one it might be. Well, this is a find a fraction of a set question. We did these last week, you might remember. So, our fraction wall is not going to help us with this one, unfortunately. There's no way we can use it to figure out what the answer is. Instead, we have to try and do a sum. So remember these questions? 1/5 of 20 is equal to something. Can you remember how we solved that type of fraction problem? Pause the video and see if you can figure out what the answer is. Well, did you remember how we solved those? Remember, there's 2 different ways we could have done it. The first way involves division. We divide by the bottom number, the denominator of the fraction. So 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. So 1/5 of 20 is equal to 4. The other way we could have done it is by drawing a picture. If we drew out the 20 water bottles, and we know that every 1 in 5 bottles have been taken, we count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and cross out one of them. We keep doing that until there's no water bottles left. And we would have got the same answer. 4 water bottles have been taken. Got all those correct. You are an absolute superstar at fraction word problems because they were tricky. It's always hardest to try and figure out what they want you to do in the word problem. For the last question type, this is the hardest type that you're going to see. These are actually kind of more 5th class maths. So give them a try and see if you can figure them out. There are 21 people in room 12. Today, there are only 2/3 of the students in school. How many people are in altogether? Now, this is a finding a fraction of a set question. Just like the last one we did, but there's one extra step we have to do. So, first of all, remember, fraction walls are not going to help us here. Instead, we need to do a sum that's going to tell us what 2/3 of 21 is. If you want to try and pause the video now and see if you can get an answer, we'll check it in just a few moments. If you've no idea how to do this one, you can just keep watching and we'll talk through it. So, there's 2 ways of doing this again. The easiest way is to use division. Remember, when we want to find a fraction of a set, we divide the total number by the denominator in the fraction. That's the bottom number. So 21 divided by 3 is equal to 7. That means that 1/3 of 21 is 7. But we're not looking for 1/3. We're looking for 2/3. So how do you think you'd find 2/3 if 1/3 is equal to 7? Pause the video and see if you can figure it out. Well, if 1/3 is equal to 7, 2/3 is going to be equal to 14. Did you get that correct? The other way of solving this is to draw a picture to help us. We could draw the 21 people who are in the class and mark 2/3 of them. The way we would do that is count up 1, 2, 3 and mark 2 people out of 3. Not 1 person out of 3 like we've been doing before, but 2 people out of 3. This is because our numerator in our fraction is 2 this time, not 1. We keep on doing that, counting up 1, 2, 3 and marking 2 of them, 1, 2, 3 and marking 2 of them, until we've completed the whole class. If we do that and count up the marked people, there's going to be 14 of them, just like when we did the division way. Because those types of questions are particularly difficult, let's do one more of them to see if you can crack the code. 12 people in the class finished all of their Friday work on time. 3/4 of them want to play board games. How many people want to play board games? So we're looking for 3/4 of 12. Can you pause the video and see if you can figure out how many people that would be? Well, if you did it the division way, you would have divided 12 by 4, because that's our bottom number in the fraction, how many groups we want to make. If we did that, we would find out that 1/4 of 12 is equal to 3. But we're not looking for 1/4, remember, we're looking for 3/4 of 12. So if 1/4 is 3, how many would 3/4 be? Pause the video and give it a try. Well, the answer would of course be 9 people want to play board games. 3/4 of 12 is 9. If we drew a picture, it would look like this. We would draw out the 12 people, and we would mark 3 out of every 4 people. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and mark 3 of them, because our numerator is 3, and our denominator is 4. Word problems are tricky, and when you add fractions into the mix, you're bound to find some challenging problems ahead of you. So don't worry if you need to watch the video again, or if you get a little stuck on some of the word problems. Just let me know and I'll be happy to give you a hand. So our W.A.L.T for today's lesson is to solve some word problems that have fractions in them. You're ready to try that in the activities down below. That's all we have time for today. Until next time, take care.